So I've had a lot of people asking about the shed and progress of the house and how things are going. So I wanted to give everybody an update and kind of show you where we're at and what the new plan is. Every single good plan is going to need some flexibility. We started out with living in the camper trailer. We've got the shed, which has given us some great storage and kind of an outdoor kitchen for cooking. We wanted to put up a shed to get things out of the snow and out of the weather for winter. But as we went to the city or the county and said, hey, we want a permit, what's going to be required? They wanted plans, engineering, and that was going to require a cost that we didn't want to put in that direction. We thought if we could get an agricultural building and put up an inexpensive shed, then that would be doable. But as soon as it required full footing and foundation and engineering and inspections and permitting, it just became too expensive to go in that direction. So the new plan as of now is we're going to move forward on the house. And we've got the power in, we've got the well in, we've got the septic just about done. I've got some inspections I got to finish up there, and we'll get that done. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish the garage here in yellow, and we'll do it. We've got our permits. We've got a permit for the entire house, but we're going to finish the garage and get everything inside, including our camper trailer and all of our personal belongings. We'll get them out of the weather for the winter, and then we may go upstairs and finish an apartment, and that'll give us some time where we're not pressured to work on the house over the next few years. So that's the new plan. Here we have front and back elevations, and here on the front you can see the garage. If we can get the garage put up and completed to here, this will give us enough space to get out of the weather for the winter. And then down the road we could add the rest of the house at our leisure. Now, this wasn't our plan, but what we're finding is start with a good plan and then be flexible. There's even a lot of things on this plan that I want to change. For example, these dormers, I'd like to get rid of them and go back to a shed roof. It'll minimize ice dams and other things. Having a chimney that's this close to the edge of the roof is going to create all sorts of snow and ice problems behind it, so I want to move that up. There's a lot of things that we've learned living here in this environment that we're going to make changes to the house now that we've had an opportunity to experience this environment prior to building a house here. So as you can see, this is our foundation plan. We're going to go in and just do this garage, the shoebox shape of that garage. And that'll allow us to later attach the house up to the garage down the road. But this is going to get us out of the snow, out of the cold weather, and we can then in the wintertime go upstairs. We could put in an apartment upstairs. We've got plenty of room up there to expand. Here's a cross section of the garage. You can see our garage doors going up here. We've got a beam in the middle. We've got some posts that sit on these center footings, and we'll have our exterior wall that goes around the entire perimeter, and then obviously upstairs we're going to end up with quite a bit of room that'll make for maybe an apartment for a temporary. It wouldn't hurt to have an apartment there for friends and family that come to visit. So we feel like this is the right move that moves us forward in the right direction without wasting a bunch of money going left instead of going right. One of the advantages to being a home builder is that I have my own footing foundation forms. So this is going to be pretty short work. We'll get this thing dug and we'll go right into building our footings and then getting those inspected by the county inspector. And then we'll go to work building the walls and get the inspector back out. He'll inspect the rebar, check it with engineering, make sure we're in good shape. And then we'll get those walls poured and then get everything stripped off. And we've got another project to go do. So we're going to try and squeeze this in. Once we've got the foundation in, then it'll be easy to work on ordering trusses. Actually, we're kind of going back and forth. I think what we're going to do is we're going to stick frame this roof out of floor joist TGIs, and that'll give us the spans. It'll be open and give us all sorts of room upstairs in that attic area. But we'll be able to get lumber ordered, and then when the lumber's ordered up and delivered, then we can get out here and start framing this thing up. This episode of Essential Mountain Homesteading is brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drinks. They're delicious on a hot summer day. Well, good morning. Welcome back. Another beautiful day working on the footings and foundation, trying to get this garage in before the snow shows up. It's a bright, sunny day, but I don't think we're going to have a whole bunch more of those. One of the issues that I've got is some really, really wide footings. You can see here on the plan in blue where the footing is a lot wider. It's a CF8. So if I go up here, CF8 is 10 inches thick, it's 4 foot 8 inches wide, and 7 foot 8 inches long. Makes for a lot of concrete. But that's requiring us to dig out a lot more dirt to leave space to put in those giant footings. So these footings will support each side of the doorways where the header spans across the doorway. But it means that we're having to dig a trench really, really wide in order to leave room for that almost 5 foot wide footing. With pulling this rock out, we've created a great big hole. And if I try and fill that in with concrete, it's going to be very, very expensive. So the plan today is to pull out a few more rocks that are going to be too high, and then backfill and compact road base into those holes and get things smoothed out and nice and flat, ready to build forms for the footings. One of the things that we had to consider was we're going to have a lot of frost and a lot of cold conditions, and I had to get this footing down in the ground at least 32 inches. So I had two choices. I could either try and go down and fight these rocks, or I could leave it up, but I would have to import fill material, import dirt, to make sure that those footings had at least 32 inches of dirt, protecting them, insulating them from the cold and from the frost and potential frost heave. So I tried to split the difference. I had a lot of slope from one side of this garage to the other. I started at 2 foot deep on one side. I ended up at about 3.5 foot deep on the other. And I am going to end up fighting some rock, but very minimal, I hope. One thing I would encourage you to do before you're building is to go out and do potholes in different areas and look at the soil down 4 or 5 feet. You don't necessarily need to be an engineer or have a degree in dirt to get some value out of digging just a pit or a hole and taking a look at what the soil is like. It will help you make good decisions that can save you a lot of money. So in this corner is our deepest corner in the dig. We're down about 3.5 feet, and we're back into the rock and boulder. It's going to require a lot of extra work to get this area cleaned up and flat and graded and prepped, ready to build our forms for our footings.